These are the 5 things beginner surfers overpay for. And once you understand how the pricing actually works, you will never walk into a surf shop the same way again. Learning to ride waves should cost a small fraction of what most first-timers hand over, yet the whole business is arranged to sell you the expensive version of everything before you have caught a single wave. Surfing is bigger now than it has ever been, with roughly 35 million people riding waves around the world, including about 3 million in Brazil, 2.8 million in the United States, and 2.5 million in Australia as of 2024. The typical American surfer is around 34 years old with a household income near $75,000, which tells you exactly who the marketing is aimed at. Beginners make up about 34% of everyone in the water, and equipment costs shut out an estimated 15% of newcomers before they ever start. That is the setup. So let's get into where your money quietly disappears. The first and biggest overpay is the board itself, and this one traps almost everyone. New surfers walk in wanting something sleek and short because that is what looks cool, and they leave having spent far too much on a board that actively makes learning harder. A basic foam board, the kind experienced surfers call a foamy, runs somewhere between $200 and $400 brand new, while the Costco Classic Wavestorm sits around $200. Compare that to the epoxy and high-volume fun boards that shops love to push, which climb into the $500 to $800 range, and you can see the gap opening up. One 2026 buying guide stretches beginner board prices all the way from $120 up to $1,200. The same guide makes the point most retailers will never tell you, which is that the price of a surfboard is not a reliable sign of its quality. Even better for your wallet, a used foam board starts around $50, and a higher quality secondhand one lands near $200, which means that the smart first purchase could cost less than a single fancy fin set. You just inspect it in person for waterlogging or a crease down the middle. Places like Craigslist and Facebook Marketplace are full of them. The cheap board is not the compromise choice. It is the correct one because foam is light enough that it will not seriously hurt you or anyone else when you wipe out, and you will wipe out constantly. The short board that beginners buy for the look is the exact wrong tool. One surf camp put the vanity trap plainly by telling people to stop struggling on a tiny board just to earn a like on social media. What makes the overspend sting even more is that most people outgrow a foamy somewhere between 5 and 15 sessions, so renting one first often beats buying the premium board you will abandon. Number 2 is the wetsuit, and this is where good salesmanship meets genuine confusion. Entry-level suits cost $50 to $150, mid-range suits run $150 to $300, and premium performance suits start at $300 and climb past $600, with one shop breaking the basic tier down to a starting point of $90 to $130. The pitch you will hear is that expensive neoprene lasts longer, and that is actually true because a premium suit maintained well can survive 5 to 7 years, while a budget suit gives you 1 or 2 seasons. The problem is timing, not honesty. Spending $500 on a suit before you know whether surfing sticks is money thrown at a maybe. And plenty of warm water beginners learning in places like Costa Rica or Bali need nothing more than a rash guard, which turns that premium suit into pure overspend. The third money pit is lessons. This one hides some of the sharpest markups in the sport. Group beginner lessons cost $50 to $99 per person. Private one-on-one sessions run $100 to $175 and sometimes reach $250. Buying a package instead of single sessions trims 10 to 30% off the per-lesson rate. Location swings the number wildly too. So a lesson in Bali, Morocco, or Portugal might cost $30 to $60, while the same lesson in the United States, Australia, or Hawaii runs $80 to $200 or more. What you want to watch for are the invented premiums. One booking platform named them directly, calling out performance coaching branding slapped onto a literal first-timer session, and celebrity instructor markups that come with a bigger price, but not one extra minute of teaching. A fair warning sign is any lesson priced more than double the regional average, with nothing to justify it. The ripoff runs the other direction too, because a suspiciously cheap lesson often turns out to be a rental with a 5-minute demo, or a class crammed with 8 or more students, where you catch almost nothing. Fourth on the list is accessories. Individually, these look small, which is exactly why they add up on you. A leash costs around $30, though a premium FCS model will run you $64. Surf wax sells for as little as $2, so any pitch for premium wax aimed at a beginner is close to meaningless. Traction pads sit around $45 to $62, with a common day cane pad near $53. A beginner riding a soft top with a foam deck usually does not need one at all, which makes it a clean example of buying something you will not use for months. Then come the fins. Replacement sets range from about $42 up to $125 for the premium versions, and retailers work hard to move you off the free plastic fins your board already came with. One shop compared surfing on cheap plastic fins to driving a car with flat tires, and a gear guide nudged buyers toward the upgraded board with real fin boxes over the included plastic ones. Better fins genuinely change how a board rides, but for a beginner catching whitewater, the stock fins do the job, so the upgrade is a want dressed up as a need. The fifth overpay is the one that follows you everywhere, and that is the brand name and lifestyle premium. Celebrity-branded foam boards carry a visible markup, and Catch Surf built its whole reputation by paying pros like Jamie O'Brien and Kalani Robb to ride foamies, which helped turn a beginner board into a status object priced at $300 to $400 and up. The lifestyle layer stacks on top, and roughly 25% of accessory sales come from things like board bags, watches, and surf-themed apparel, most of which does nothing for someone still learning to stand up. The biggest hidden spend of all is travel, since surf tourism has been estimated at as much as $65 billion a year, a figure that even Statista admits is hard to pin down, and the dream trip to a far-off break is often sold to people who cannot yet ride the waves they are flying toward. What does this come down to? This isn't saying that cheap is automatically the answer, since the bargain lesson can be the real scam, and the premium wetsuit is truly worth it once you are surfing every week. Retailers are not cartoon villains either, because the better gear does perform better. The actual problem is being sold advanced equipment on day one instead of the month you are ready for it. Put the real numbers together, and a genuine starter kit runs about $420 at the budget end and around $800 for a solid mid-range setup, while a fully loaded version climbs near $1,100. The sensible advice is to skip that premium tier until you have stuck with the sport for a few months. The reason beginner surfers keep getting ripped off is not some secret conspiracy. It is a simple mismatch of timing, where the industry sells you the gear of a committed surfer while you are still figuring out if you even like getting knocked around by the ocean. Start with a used foamy. Borrow or rent a wetsuit until you are sure. Take a group lesson instead of a branded private session. Ignore the fin upsell and let the lifestyle merchandise wait. Catch a few waves first and buy the expensive version only after the sport has earned a permanent place in your life. If this spoke to you, please like and subscribe.